examination, that entire comprehensive review, when he speaks to that, it sounds like he's wearing that, right? Mm-hmm. He's almost taking credit for it.
So
right
is Deshaun Watson going to go play for the Rockies now, or?
Oh no, is he a baseball player? How's that shoulder?
Let's see. I think somewhere Tuesday, June 2nd is when I'll cross the old bridge on that. 216-474-0092. We'll have our day, but today's not that day. But for a lot of people who hated the trade and everything like that, I mean, there's a little bit more evidence to that. And again, I think for the Baker people, like, again, you and I have had more accountability for our opinions than he has ever had. That's why I got so mad. And when you have an article says that they got the quarterback that people do not want to see and people openly dislike in the city. Oh, he didn't have that much power. Okay.
He's taking pride in their approach.
He's taking part in it. He's explaining it. There you go. All righty. But my problem is, and it will start to connect more dots, I'm sure, coming up this winter and in the next spring and everything like that. But when you have a football team and you have a quarterback that at that time was playing with a hurt wing, that, again, I wish somebody, you want to talk about adults in the room, I wish somebody would have told him, hey, I'm going to be an adult in the room. Let's put together some sort of a deal. There's no Jordan Love thing to do yet because there was no deal like that at that time. I get it. But could we have come together on something? Could we have done something different? Because I did. I really did. I thought his time in Cleveland was over. Talking about Baker. But I didn't know how to replace him. And I surely didn't want to replace him with Deshaun Watson. Absolutely not. Check it all. You know it. And, yeah, you did. I was getting ready to bring in a quarterback for competition because I didn't know what we were going to do because we had invested everything. I didn't know we were going to invest more on another guy who would end up, being a guy that people just flat out do not want to see take the field for their football team.
And looking like he was done with football.
Yes.
That's the version we got.
So we might get to see him again. I think a lot of people are hoping no, but no, there's still a lot more things to go through. 216-474-0092. Dave in Wadsworth, you're next up on the Fan. Hello, Dave.
All right, Kenny, this is it.
What?
What would happen if Andrew Berry got moved up and Stefanski got moved up?
If Stefanski got moved up?
If he got moved up to GM and you put Jimmy as your coach, Tommy as your OC, and you hide Andrew Berry somewhere so he can't even be around the damn thing, I think the three of them could get this team right and into the playoffs.
Well, I don't think that Kevin would want to do that, though, Dave.
Why not? More money.
I think he can make just as much money being a head coach. Dave, thank you for the call. I think he'd be a head coach or being a head coach somewhere else and making just as much money. If all these guys are right and he's going to be a head coach somewhere else again, he'll get his chance to make a lot of money somewhere else. I mean, hell, I don't know what the amount of money is at the end of the season if he goes away. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get over $20 million just to go away. So he really doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. I don't think he wants to be. I know his father has been a GM in a different sport. I don't think he'd want to be a GM. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'd want more. Maybe he'd finally get some power. But I don't understand how a team that's done everything they can to basically take away from power from the guy would all of a sudden give him all the power in the world, basally. Unless that's more of a puppet show and it's Andrew Berry really pulling the strings.
I will say we've seen some really funny things happen when you look at the under the Haslams too. By the way,
going to what Dave said, it's the Browns, so you can't count anything out. Nick and Massillon, home of the Tigers. Hello.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Nick.
You know what? First of all, thing I'd say, Kenny, is thank you for Trey Wingo the other morning. He was awesome.
Well, don't thank me. Thank Keith Britton and thank our guys here to run him down. Yes, he was wonderful.
That was outstanding. Back to the topic. You talk about moving Barry up. Doesn't that put you in the same situation that you already left with DePodesta leaving? Now you've got Barry up there and you got a general manager, and when somebody makes a boneheaded call, who answers to that?
You know what I'm saying? I think it's at least a little easier for me to that is concerning. I think for a lot of fans. At least I know he'd be here, and I could yell at him.
Well, here's the thing, but I hate to say this, I really do. I have to agree with Lima. You got to clean house. You want to change the culture. You want to turn the page on this catastrophe. you need to clean house. Let's start fresh. And yeah, it's going to suck. You're going to see Miles leave, and all these guys are going to get traded. But you know what? I'm ready to see some change because I've told you before. I'm 64 years old. I've lived through all this. I'm tired of looking at this garbage.
But you sound so much better than 64, Nick. I got to tell you.
You know what? Clean living.
In Massillon, Ohio, sir, I'm from Massillon, Ohio. I don't think that there's such things.
I know where you're from. I know exactly where Perry is. I grew up in this area. I'm with you.
There you go.
But I'm just saying, you got to turn the page. Don't you agree? You can't turn the page if you keep any of these guys.
I think I would be ready for a complete separation. I think, though, that what you're not going to – I don't think you're going to really get it, and I think Lima's going to end up being right, Nick.
I don't think you will. I don't think Haslam –
He has been a guy – you think about this. Stay with me, Nick. Stay with me. Hold on. Hold on just a second.
I'm with you. Okay, I got you.
Jimmy buys the team. The NFL arranges for his power structure to come in here, right? And then immediately that power structure leads him down. If he wants to try to give other people power, like I'm not going to make an owner out to be a victim for crying out loud here, but you know, you have this arrangement with the NFL where they basically put together your power, and then they lead you down some primrose path. You fire a coach because you're the new group coming in. Okay, that's fair. Then you hire a guy, and then you fire him a year after because you have a team president who says he's going to get you Jim Harbaugh, and then he ends up getting Rob Chudzinski. I mean, excuse me. After what? Who do they get after Rob? Oh, they got Pettin. They got Mike. Yeah. They actually landed on a pretty decent coach. And Mike was a pretty decent coach, but he was also in over his head. So you go from Jim Harbaugh to Mike Pettin, and if you were Jimmy Haslam going, oh no. So now I think you'd be afraid to be alone. You know, the deal makers, the people you go out to and go, we're going to have a consultant to bring these people in. I'd be very leery of them too. Like you kind of go with the people you've been around.
But you've got 6 years of these guys. 6 years, not 2 or 3. It's been 6 years of when they walked into not the perfect situation, but a really good situation. That was a really good team Dorsey put together.
And as sick as it is,
and we were really good.
As sick as it is to say this, and this is really sick, Nick, and thank you very much for the call. You would go, in those 2 years, I've made the playoffs 2 times. Do I really need to throw everything out of here? Paul is leaving. Okay, I'm sure they'll release a nice statement once the Rockies announce that he's been made their president of God knows what. I don't care. They'll put out a nice statement, and I think that he's going to look and go, because we all do this. Even if you guys think the relationship is toxic, how often do we go back to toxic relationship with so many people just because it's what we know? Hello? I mean, this is what we grew up in for a lot of us, right? And that's personal lives. So you go to this in the NFL, it could be a toxic relationship, but it's something that, all right, we've at least been to the playoffs twice, and right now I am in a cap mess. This team is not close to winning right now. There's probably still more tough decisions to make. Now, do I know that Paul led the charge? No, I'm not going to say that for all that stuff, but I know that he had more power than what people thought he did. So, yeah, they'll probably go with more of what they know, and at least I'll have some accountability. That's why I couldn't just sit here and rain champagne from the ceiling. I understand. When it first happened with Nick, I ain't ripping Nick for reacting the way he did yesterday. Not at all. When it first happened, I think a lot of us were going, oh my gosh, we're Charlie, we got the golden ticket. And then when it really comes down, like, okay, we got a lot of work to do here.
So if you are Kevin Stefanski right now, and this is something I definitely want to get to you about, because I just thought, like, Kevin, there has to be some uneasiness, for Kevin. And look, he knows how this works. You lose a lot of games and you lose your job. But every time the owner has had a chance, it has been the vote of confidence. Some would call it, when you have to do it midseason, it's a dreaded vote of confidence. Mm-hmm. But if he's telling reporters, no, everybody's fine, Andrew Berry's fine, Kevin Stefanski's fine, I do wonder how Kevin is feeling when that news got passed to him. I do wonder what's going on in Kevin Stefanski's head. If he thinks this is things are about to change in a big way, or no, I know I have the trust to Andrew Berry, I'm going to be fine.
Do you think he knew before he made Tommy Rees the offensive coordinator?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We know about these things after they do.
Yeah.
But do you think...
That's true.
But do you think that decision hinged upon Paul DePodesta not being here?
I wouldn't think so.
I'm asking questions. I'm not trying to get to anything, guys. I'm asking.
But now, I'm telling you, every single decision made from here on out that could be considered either dramatic or consequential, we're going to be sitting here asking these questions like, who had their fingerprints on this stuff in all reality?
Because if I did want to look at a theory like this, I could go, I know that you've said that they've kept Paul, and I know that he's been tried to be poached from different companies and different organizations and sports. You look at this and you go, all right, he made Tommy Rees the offensive coordinator. He's given up power to call plays again. Do you just send, you know what, you can go look for your own job. Do you say that with Paul? Like, I don't know what that came from. Like, that's where you just to start to spout theories, which I don't know are true. But these are ideas that come to your head because, again, there's so many more things that you have to iron out before you actually get to it. And I haven't even got the chance to ask the question of whether you keep Andrew. If you had to keep one, they asked it yesterday. If you had to keep one, which one would you keep? And right now, I think I'll surprise a lot of people with who I'd keep. I think it surprised a lot of people. Maybe I'll answer that question at 8 o'clock. Coming up next and about last night, Mitch wants to use some audio just because he thinks someone is an idiot. I appreciate it. I don't like calling people idiots, but I appreciate people's rights to do so. And so Mitch will call somebody an idiot in about last night at 7:43 on The Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for...
We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. And we got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0, no one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. He couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Well, the big news last night, some news from the Cleveland Browns yesterday as Chief Strategy Officer Paul DePodesta leaving to become the Colorado Rockies head of baseball operations. So the Moneyball guy goes back to baseball here. A lot of talk of what the guy actually did from his place in San Diego as Daryl Ryder on our YouTube channel talking with Andy Baskin, talking about what DePodesta's job actually was.
He was the man behind the scenes that no one really knew what he did. He had the title Chief Strategy Officer, but no one knew what that meant or what he actually did. He worked in all facets of the organization, though. He was a trusted advisor to the Haslams. When it came to business deals, worked with the front office as far as compiling data on personnel.
Daryl will join us at 8:20. Did that clarify anything at all for you guys?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely not.
Look, the business stuff I had heard, years ago, very true, which is why I don't think the Haslams wanted to lose them. I mean, I know we look at wins and losses. We don't care how much money the Haslams make. We don't care about any of that. But part of what he brought to the table was not just football analytics, also business analytics. So, again, that's something none of our listeners care about. But I do think that it's helpful to understand that this isn't Haslam kicking him out because of the win-loss record. That's not happening here.
No, it is not.
Sticking with the Browns, we had new play caller Tommy Rees speaking to the media yesterday. He was asked if the offense will have a different look compared to Kevin Stefanski through the first couple of weeks of the season.
Every play caller is going to have a different feel, a different spin on things. They're going to have things that they value, things that they want to get to. Kevin and I are not the same person. We have enough in our offense to make it look different in spots. We have enough depth in what we're asking those guys to do to make it look different. But I think some of the core principles continue on. We just have to do them at a higher level.
So do you guys think it'll look different on Sunday? Not even just in terms of success or not, but like the way they set up, the way they line up?
There might be more. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they're more aggressive. Now, well, I think the reason they haven't been aggressive is because Kevin didn't think they could be. So when you're aggressive, that also opens the door up to mistakes, and I think you might see some of that recipe.
Well, Wyatt Teller has been very vocal about how they've went away from the run at certain points in the game, and we've talked about it and how it could have just been, well, the game plan didn't, or the game flow didn't really lead you to that. But I think Tommy Rees at least gives Wyatt a chance to maybe be proven right and see if they stick with, the run game for a little bit longer than it seems. We talked about at length. He had 58 passes in that game against Pittsburgh. Maybe let's not do that anymore.
Well, what gets really interesting to me is we had an instant, something we almost never get in football. When Flacco got traded, it was an instant indictment on everything because you're not left to wonder. Like, holy cow, Flacco went over there and they have no problem moving the ball up and down the field. They have no problem scoring points. If all of a sudden the offense looks totally different, this will be a combination of factors that will make Kevin Stefanski look really, really bad.
Also, the offense is going to have to change a little bit this Sunday because it seems, Harold Fannin Jr. did not practice yesterday because of a hamstring injury. I will kiss your bare ass. Let me look at your thing. All right. I will kiss your bare ass if you can tell me who his exact backup is right behind him on the depth chart. That's how confident I am that you are not going to know. A young man by the name of Brendan Bates.
Bates.
Would you rather have Kathy Bates, 216? No, I'm kidding. That's mean-spirited towards Brendan.
Norman.
I was going to say, going to our next thing here, I'm cheating a little bit because this is not from yesterday, but I heard it yesterday.
You go ahead and you cheat, bud. You go ahead and you cheat it up.
This is from the Road Trippin' podcast featuring a couple former Cavaliers, Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye, and one Kendrick Perkins, who said this regarding the Cavaliers' potential matchup with two post players for the Detroit Pistons.
those two monsters that they have down low, Doran and Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, a lot of teams don't want to face that. Like, I don't know if Eben Mobley and Jared Allen are ready to face those two gorillas. Like, straight up. They're not shying away from any type of, they want all the smoke.
So I have some numbers here for you guys regarding the potential matchup of Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart versus Jared Allen versus Evan Mobley. October 27th, the Cavs beat the Pistons 116-95. Duren and Stewart combined for 12 points and 16 rebounds, with Stewart coming off the bench in that game, whatever. Mobley and Allen, 35 points, 18 rebounds. If he's not an idiot, that's an idiotic thing to say.
This is what I hate about this. I thank you for bringing this up. You are right, Mitch, and I'm glad you brought this to everybody's attention. Audio courtesy ESPN, right?
Yeah, Road Trippin' Podcast on YouTube.
Podcast. Yeah. Okay. You said Kendrick Perkins said this, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is my issue. Is your problem is known as you are soft. I think some of the easiest thing to say anymore is that a team's just soft and move on. Once you've decided a team is soft, you can just say they're soft and not watch them.
Nothing's going to change.
And nothing's going to change.
Unless they win in the playoffs.
Unless somebody goes out there and has a fist fight with somebody and they actually win. Or in that, nothing's going to change your mind. So if I just decided to say, well, the Cavs are soft, I don't have to watch them anymore.
It's amazing all the times. And Road Trippin' is a great pod. We've used
Racer phrase.
We've used it a lot of times. No, this is about Perkins. It's just
about him.
It's just amazing to me that he's out there giving analysis, and then you put on Peacock, right, or NBC, and Brian Scalabrine is diagramming plays and giving you real insight, and you're just getting none of that from Perk. I'm sorry. You're just not. You're just getting things like that. And I don't know how anybody has any interest in that kind of analysis.
I mean, you are getting amazing jokes on SportsCenter, though. I'll probably land you in HR here in a couple days.
Maybe not the one to talk about that right now.
No. Finally, this is from Ryan.
My dear goodness gracious. Put the safety on Mitch. I thought I'd never say that sentence.
You know who hasn't put on the safety this season? The Ohio State offense. They have been steamrolling. And Ryan Day yesterday talked
it seemed like they had the safety on in the first half against Penn State.
Maybe for there, but they scored 3 touchdowns.
On defense, guys.
There you go. There you go.
Football guy.
Ryan Day talking yesterday on the Ryan Day radio show on the Fan 97.1 Columbus.
The efficiency is what we're after, because when you're efficient and you're playing like that, a 3-score game can feel like this way out of reach, where I feel like maybe in the past it was like, okay, we're just getting started on the game, but that's how you control the game, being able to run the football. And when it's time to turn up the gas, we will. But I like the way we came out in the second half. I thought we were explosive. We came out, we attacked, and the guys executed well.
I mean, how does that make you feel about the Ohio State offense late in the season when they have to take on the actual good teams?
Look, Dave
Rutgers?
Well, he's just talking.
I'm going to that game in a couple.
UCLA?
Yeah, I think they're going to be just fine.
Oh, Michigan and Indiana. Okay.
The Michigan game, like, I don't even, Kenny, me and you were, before the day, we were like, because Owen said something, and I think Owen was just trying to get under our skin.
No.
I think he was trying to get under your skin.
Yeah,
I just thought it was insulting as a football guy.
But can an Ohio State, after last year, more specifically last year, can we be confident about a Michigan game? Like, I feel like there's no way Ohio State should lose to Michigan this year. But I thought that last year. How can I puff my chest out? It almost would sound phony. Because you can sense in the back of my mind, I'm like, is there a way they still lose that game?
I was going to say Aiden Hutchinson. If Aiden Huntington ran out that tunnel, he'd be nuts. Aiden Hutchinson ain't going to run out that tunnel, but I'm like, well, if they play a home game the next day, I bet he could run out the tunnel. Just can't go on the field. Can't play for him.
Chip Kelly come back and call that offense in that game specifically?
Can I share with you about last night? Is that it for about last night?
It is.
Can I share with you some of the last night's women's college basketball scores from the top 25?
Because Jeff Thomas refuses to do it.
I don't know why. I'm just saying. I don't know when you're Southeast Louisiana. I don't know why you would go play at LSU unless you just wanted to say you played at LSU. LSU beat Southeast Louisiana last night, 115-26. That's an 89-point win. I want to know what Kim Mulkey's getting out of that. I'm serious. TCU beat North Carolina A&T 82-43. Oklahoma State beat Langston 105-35. Kentucky beat Monmouth last night 104-46. Can you gamble on those games? There's no way there's lines on those games, right? There's no way.
Well, they could mess with the point spread to make it so crazy.
What would you? Okay, LSU, a previous national champion contender. They're a national champion contender every year. where would you have set the line if you were Vegas with Southeast Louisiana going in? Because if you had set it at 70, they covered it by 19.
Easily, yeah.
115 to 26.
It would be fun, Kenny, to have.
She definitely emptied out the bench.
Kenny, to have some drinks and say they put that line at 85. To have some drinks and sit there and try to bet them. That would be some fun. I think I understand why people like this gambling thing.
I don't even gamble, and if I were a gambling man, even if I'm not, I'd go, you know what? Maybe I'll put a couple down.
Can I give you the money line, the pregame money line for this game?
Ahead,
LSU Southeast Louisiana State.
Yeah,
minus 45.5.
And they covered by almost double.
My God.
Yeah,
they covered by almost double. Who took Southeast Louisiana? Who was the Krusty the Clown who took Southeast Louisiana in that game?
Right now with traffic, it's only an hour to get there, so maybe it was a logistics thing.
Oh, maybe. I mean, you get to play in that building. I'm sure it's a fine building. I mean, they love their Lady Tigers down there. There's nothing about the football team to love right now other than Brian Kelly's gone.
At Arkansas next.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a little bit better. Wait a minute. Southeast Louisiana's at Arkansas next? Oh, okay.
They're clearly trying to get in the SEC.
Well, I mean, you got to crawl for your walk.
Can't find a line for that one.
Got to crawl for your walk. Just like Kennesaw State. Where they come in last year was tough, and now all of a sudden, look at them. They're bowl eligible.
They changed it all around.
Kicking ass, taking names. By the way, did you see App State last night?
No.
Looked like garbage. Looking like garbage. Never thought I'd see the day. Speaking of garbage, you see Bo Nix last night?
He was terrible.
Also terrible. But Darryl Ryder coming up at 8:20. He is not terrible. All right, I got a real Sophie's choice for you coming up in 5 on the Fan. Daisy Dips. There's no choices to make. Get Bo.
coaches doing this multiple times and still keeping their jobs. So the fact that when they went in the bye, Stefanski thought this was the move is very interesting to me. That's kind of the first time it's given me some pause as to whether or not Stefanski thinks he is in fact on the hot seat.
Catch Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker on Afternoon Drive every Wednesday at 4. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
90 at Hilliard, 90 at Clegg, 90 at everywhere. On the west side, it's a mess. I'm sorry, folks.
Good luck.
It is a 1-minute wait on Raleigh. I'm looking at Fox 8 right now. 271, it's a 5-minute wait. 28-minute wait. Columbia Road to Hilliard on 90 eastbound.
You know what they say, west side, west side.
It's all right. We're almost done. We've only got 3 more years.
I'm going to make you guys choose between Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. I think you're going to be surprised at my answer. Also, Nathan Zagura are going to come up at 9 o'clock. Daryl coming up in about 15 minutes. Can I just bring this to everybody's attention? It's going to be Kenny Pickett versus Shedeur Sanders on November 23rd. What?
I don't know, man.
Fire up the Michael Stanley, baby. It's going to be Shedeur and Kenny Pickett.
I disagree with that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Did you watch that game last night?
I did. I sure as hell did.
Yeah, well, Gino looked like he was about to die, and they were dead set on not bringing Kenny Pickett out there.
There you go, have a choice by that time, brother.
They forced Gino. The lineman picked him up and go, no, buddy, you get back in the huddle. We are not doing that.
No, it's going to be Kenny.
What a disaster.
Oh, my God. And I woke up this morning, I checked Instagram, and I immediately unfollowed one of the accounts I follow because it's this guy, and he just is going on this tangent. If the Broncos want to win a Super Bowl, they need to get rid, or they need to bench Bo Nix. And I looked at it, and I go, no, they don't. They have Jarrett Stidham. He's staying. As bad as he is.
Should they have traded for Joe Flacco?
Guys, like, at least our guy, I mean, it's a possibility. Our guy is 5'9", 5'10". You have to move the pocket. You can feel like you're swallowed in. He's 6'2". The pocket's clean. Their offensive line ain't bad. He's, oh, my God. Oh, get away from me. Check it down. Oh, get rid of this ball. He is so afraid in there last night.
I don't know what happened because he's got a supreme offensive coach.
He was Mr. Confidence, Mr. Cocky last year, and he looked terrified.
And it's crazy because they're winning. They're winning. Like,
oh my gosh.
Can you imagine
8-2?
Can you imagine if the Browns were 8-2, had won 7 in a row? Remember, one of those losses were bogus. It was on that leverage play on special teams against Indy.
Yeah.
So they should even have another win. But can you imagine if we were doing Sports Talk Radio in Cleveland and Bo Nix was our quarterback and our team was 8-2 and we came on the air not celebrating the wins and we were talking about how bad the quarterback
we would celebrate the wins. We would fire up the music and I'd yell Super Bowl, Super Browns. But I also think at the same time, we'd be like, well, how are we feeling on our quarterback? Like, you would definitely do that. You would absolutely do that. And then
we had games when we were winning where Baker didn't play well, but we didn't come on and say Baker needs to be replaced.
No. You waited until the 8 o'clock hour to do that. But I definitely think we would. And guys, I just think you better get ready for this because I think a lot of these guys are this way. I think it's a discussion we're going to have about God knows who's coming out of the draft. I have no idea. I think we're going to have that discussion. Who are these guys? Well, I mean, where are the can't miss guys anymore? The can't miss guys are absolutely miss guys now.
I'll tell you my theory.
So I told you my plan. Well, I want to know your theory, but I'll tell you my plan.
Go ahead.
It's not a popular one. I'm going to get ripped for it.
The bridge QB?
Yep.
Yeah.
I say call Sam. I know Kyle doesn't like us. I get that. But I at least got to do my job. I got to do my due diligence. Call for Mac Jones. See whether or not
here in Cleveland.
And I know you guys sit there and rip him, and it's like, well, yeah, he sucked in New England. Okay, I know he sucked in New England. It also had Matt Patricia, the Buckeyes defensive coordinator, running his offense. Well, he's got Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, so did Trey Lance. Trey Lance is terrible. I'd rather have Mac Jones way before I'd rather give a chance to Trey Lance. Go ahead, give me Mac Jones, and then I'll draft a guy, and then I don't have to start him right off the rip. I'll draft him. I don't have to have the number 1 overall choice. I'll draft the guy. I don't have to start him right off the rip. And then I'll have a veteran quarterback out there who knows how to get rid of the ball quickly. That's what I'll do. That's where I'll go. And I'll probably go, by the way, who's the offensive coordinator? Which Kubiak is it? San Francisco. It's either Clint or Clay.
That's the other one.
Clay?
Yeah.
There's a Clay, right? Yeah, bring him on.
There's another one that's
make him the head coach
for the Cowboys.
Make him the head coach. To hell with it. That's my plan to fix the Browns. To hell with it.
Just real quick, I know we got other things to do.
I'm
sorry. The theory that there's a reason these quarterbacks are all fluctuating. They're not on what we used to consider to be this linear trajectory where they get better and better every year. I just think offensive lines can't protect these guys.
They are terrible. They are terrible.
I think there's always been an equilibrium of offensive line versus defensive line. In some games, you'll get the best of them, but the other games, now it seems like every game I watch, offensive lines cannot block the freaks on the defensive lines.
I asked an offensive lineman a couple of weeks ago, and you know exactly why I asked, but I'm not going to say his name. I'm like, why are they struggling? All across the league. Yeah. Like I go,
how'd you get a hold of Jed?
I said, somebody, it wasn't him, somebody you could take in the second round out of Nevada and plug him and play him. And away he went. And he's been a Pro Bowler and an all-pro style guard for a long time. And by the way, that was kind of not expected all the time, but you kind of just did that with a lot of guys for a long time. Hey, we took this guy in the first round and we're going to plug him in, and he ends up playing for your football team for the next 10 years and plays at a pretty high level. And that became expected. And now the answer I got was the offenses are totally different. They don't huddle. They don't do these things that we're supposed to. It's the same answers we've been talking about for a long time. And they just come in, they struggle. They just can't move the way that these other guys do. And because they get moved around the offenses and things like that, you think you can plug them and play them anywhere because they're better athletes. And they can't do it. And the reverse feet, like that whole thing with DeJuan. DeJuan was uncomfortable. He's a basketball player. But when you have to reverse every single step and all you do, it's tough to do.
And I also think training camp along with preseason games, there's not a real pocket. You don't get a chance to sit in a pocket under fire and develop and learn how to throw. I also think defensive linemen are freakier. They're freakier. Yeah. They're unblockable under the current rules.
They're not all as fast as Lawrence Taylor, but they're all almost as fast as Lawrence Taylor. The good ones, the not so good ones. I know he's a linebacker, but you get what I'm saying. Like they are so fast.
Guys you've never heard of. You'll watch a game and you've never heard of, and you're like, that guy looks unblockable.
If you can't catch him, you can't catch him. But that's my plan. All right. If you had to choose Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, you got to keep one. Which one you keep him? I love the conversation they had yesterday afternoon. I decided to rip him right off. Let's go. You got to keep one of them.
I say Kevin.
I say Andrew. I swear to God.
Well, we are in an impasse here, Ken.
I swear to God. I know that surprises a lot of people. If I had to make a decision between the two, I like them both. I got to pick one. I pick Andrew.
Face? I like them both personally. See him on the YouTube.
Gross. Because this conversation's gross.
It is a gross conversation.
Well, here's your problem.
But it may very well be the conversation that we need to have. Most of the conversations about the Browns are pretty gross.
You just brought up bring in a Kubiak, right?
Yeah.
Well, who's from the Kubiak tree that has been an offensive coordinator before?
Well, hold on.
Who's that?
Kevin Stefanski.
Hold on.
Damn it.
Trees.
So he stays in.
Trees have various limbs, some healthier than others.
Yeah, sometimes they falter my ceiling, too.
You can trim them. They're not great. No, that's why, maybe they need to give a call to KC Roofing. And a Kubiak comes out. You don't know.
Now, my Japanese maple up front, there is some fine pruning that needs to be done.
I had one that just completely fell over when I first moved in. I swear to God.
They are hard.
I would pick it. I'll tell you why. The last draft's been okay.
It was.
And I think that
better than okay. I would say better than okay.
And let me give you the reasoning why. It's not just to disagree with you because it's a radio show. Kevin has made this move to me about Tommy Rees to keep the. I think the team's on the verge of just calling it a day on Kevin. I think you could keep Andrew Berry and install someone else out there. None of these are great decisions, guys. I get it. You can install Andrew Berry as your general manager, keep him as your general manager, a team president, and install a new coach and maybe install a new hope. Because I think that he's made this decision with Tommy Rees because I think the defense is about as fit to be tied as possible, and he has to keep his entire team around. I think it's a responsible decision to make this change. I do, by Kevin. I think it's responsible. And if it wasn't his choice, then I guess I'm going to have to change some thoughts here, but I'm going to go with this. I think that he's trying to be responsible to his team, but I think that team's just about had enough. And I think it's easier with this group to replace the head coach because I think that you still have talent on that defense, and they might not want to give up on those guys. And so I don't know what you're going to do at the wide receiver spot. Not good at picking wide receivers. We're not too terribly good at picking offensive linemen. We're not too terribly good at drafting in the first place. But you can still build on this rookie class, and I think you can get some positivity or some hope out of the fan base. You've just recently had a real great rookie class. You're going to need more of them because you don't have a whole lot of money to spend over the future, but you're going to need more of them. I think that if you're going to hold on to some of these guys, unfortunately, I think it's easier to change out the head coach. Now you go.
Yeah, I have no big defense of Kevin in any of this, and if I were arguing with myself, I could bring up 10 reasons why Kevin's not the answer either. But when you come into a season, a critical season like this, and you are presented with the 40-year-old quarterback, becoming a journeyman in Kenny Pickett. We'll see how many teams he ends up playing for over the next few years. Then you draft the 2 quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round. Then, oh, by the way, the 5th round quarterback's a celebrity. I just think you did everything you could to handcuff Kevin. I just think that was a reality. People say, well, no, Kevin wanted the Dylan Gabriel. I've seen reporting on it. I've heard all sorts of different things. So whatever. I'll just say when you figure that in and you botch this turnover of the offensive line the way they are, right, where you don't have a ton of answers. The answers you had they have their injury risks to the degree that they are. And then this wide receiver room, when you present him with this wide receiver room, I just think you did everything you could to really make it almost impossible to run a good offense.
But I still think that you're painting Kevin as the victim. I'm looking for a guy to lead to the future. And I could say, a lot of coaches who get let go, I look at their past and go, yeah, they were a victim of this, that, and the other. But it doesn't mean that they were the right guy to lead in the future. And I want to see how this works, because maybe it saves where they're at, but we're going to find out a lot on Sunday, because that team has every reason to give up on their season. And you should go out there and win. And if you don't, you're going to feel a hell of a lot different about a lot of this. 216-474-0092. I'm going to try to get to some of you guys coming up in a bit. However, we got Daryl joining us. Are the Browns actually better than what they were yesterday? Are they actually better than what they were yesterday? I want to ask Daryl that question coming up in 5 on The Fan. Extend Technologies in Broadview Heights. I beat Tone to it because I'm that excited to talk about Extend Technologies. 4K, 8K, short throw projection, a 200-inch screen right there, a giant monitor right there in your basement, right there in your living room. Think about it. Think about how great it can be, the experience in
but never got back to the majors in 7 rehab starts in the minors. 0-2, a 6.08 ERA. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during the regular season by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Gone. Yay! Still uncertain about our future. Boo! Shador Sanders somewhat practicing. Yay! Dylan Gabriel still starting on Sunday. Boo! Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers. Yay! But I'm sure he has a cynical outlook. Boo! Hi, Daryl.
Hello, boys. Happy Friday.
Same to you. What was your reaction when Paul DePodesta said, bye-bye?
Little surprised, came out of left field, no pun intended, but also, I think, very good.
Already with the baseball guy shots. Come on, keep it above board.
Real can of corn.
What a Texas leaguer, even though he's headed to Colorado.
Yeah, well, if you saw the results from the Browns under DePodesta the last 9.5 years, well, you'd understand. 56, 99, and 1.
What are you?
Outsmarted everybody.
Didn't get that 100 loss. Did not do it.
That's so disappointing. So disappointing. I thought he had a shot at 100 losses.
So let me ask you this. I think that I want to know what you think he was really responsible for, because we don't know. And there have been a couple of people going, guys, he really wasn't responsible for much. You fans make way too big a deal about that. And I go, you guys are nuts. You guys are stoned to the bejesus. He absolutely had the ear of a lot of things. He was in charge of at least laying the groundwork for everything that's been done. I think he had way more power than anybody would ever want to say.
Yeah, I agree with you. He was certainly responsible for the 1-31 misery that fans went through. He was responsible for hiring Kevin Stefanski, wanted him in 2019. They decided to hire Freddie Kitchens instead. We know what a disaster that was. Kitchens fired after 1 year. Stefanski ultimately hired. He also had his hands in a lot of non-football stuff. He was confidant, consultant, however you want to term it, with the Haslam family on a variety of business deals, both in and outside the sports sphere. I mean, he really was a chief strategy officer, not just from the management of the 53-man roster and personnel.
Yeah, Daryl, he also took a lot of pride in their process that led them to Deshaun Watson. And I just wonder, is that one of the things we can definitively say that he had a huge part in?
Well, I don't know if you want to put that at his feet. I think everybody had a huge part in that decision, which ended up being disastrous. But his influence within the building and within the organization, as well as Haslam Sports Group, it was pretty strong. That's not to say, again, that he was running things, but the information he gathered and the collaboration of using said information that he gathered, his fingerprints are all over the failures of this organization for the vast majority of time that he was here in Cleveland. Again, they ended up winning just 56 games. And the whole thing, when he was hired, I was under the perception that, they're going to be outsmarting people. They're going to do all these things to find, ways to turn the system in their favor. And in some respects, he did. But I was maybe expecting 99 wins and 56 losses and a tie, and not the other way around. Just a very lackluster, very disappointing tenure for DePodesta here in Cleveland. And look, I'm glad he's going back to his roots into something he actually knows, and that's baseball, because he doesn't know football.
Woo! Daryl Ryder. That's some heat. I like it. Can I take it a step further? And this is a little conspiratorial, I will say. A lot of it's been reported. Jason had the article years ago. The Baker wanted a $300 million contract.
Right.
Okay? I think that when you said that he kind of set them on this path, Paul DePodesta set them on this path to 1-31. That he was, this is what you got to do. You got to tank it out. You got to get that. I think that I wonder, because I can't prove it. Do you think that he was one of the folks behind, hey, just let Baker go ahead and play and see whether or not he's worth it? Because I think that he was more, it's all or nothing. We either, like, I see a guy, it's like, well, we could have brought him back. We could have calmed people down. We could have let him not be playing when he was definitely injured and hurting himself and hurting the team by playing.
Right.
And I think that he maybe just wanted to prove that it's a $300 million quarterback because it was all or nothing. Because then Deshaun comes in here and he's a $230 million guaranteed quarterback. It's literally all or nothing. And you're seeing Deshaun Watson right now where, think about this. Think about this here, Tone, or Daryl. Deshaun Watson, $230 million, bust. I'm not sure Tua's contract, bust. I'm not sure Kyler Murray's contract right off the top of my head, bust. Meanwhile, Baker's on and Baker will get paid, I'm sure, but he's on a workable deal. They're able to bring in a lot of talent around him. He's able to reinvigorate his career. And you know what? I'm looking around the league. Other guys are doing that as well. And I'm thinking, man, if we would have been able to get him back and get him healthy, maybe he would have won a competition against a veteran out there. Maybe we would have been in a much better place as a fan base and just with our overall psyche than we would be had we not gone down this path. Do you believe that Paul DePodesta had a lot to do with that?
No, I think Baker Mayfield had a lot to do with that. His insistence on playing through the injury because he felt the pressure of wanting to earn that contract and ultimately ended up blowing up in his face along with just some of the maturity issues that he had and the Browns deciding that he was not worthy of a $200+ million investment. There were just too many questions left unanswered despite him being here for a couple of years. And that ultimately led to the divorce and the pursuit of Deshaun Watson, who at the time, setting aside the off-the-field baggage, at the time, the belief was that he would be a leap forward from Baker. And he was a ceiling that Baker was not ever going to achieve. What got lost in that shuffle is a lot of the numbers that Deshaun Watson put up with the Houston Texans, the year he led the NFL, I should say, in passing, Texans won 4 games. They were playing from behind all the time. So, of course, they were throwing the ball. Where was the analytical...
Tried to say that to Tone. Tone didn't want to listen to you. That's what happens when you don't look at stats.
Where was the analytical analysis on that? Why didn't anyone in the building realize that part of it? And that's not to say that Deshaun was not a great quarterback when he was with the Texans, but that is kind of part of the equation you have to look at. Like, okay, what are the situations? You know, are we talking game-winning drives late where he's just, throwing for 150 yards in the fourth quarter to bring his team back? Or are they down by 2-3 scores and that's all they have at their disposal is just to chuck the ball down the field and see if they can pull rabbits out of their hats? So, I'm not going to put the transition from Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson on Paul DePodesta, but absolutely he was consulted on that. He was consulted on the draft compensation that was sent to the Houston Texans. He was consulted on the cap ramifications and the financials involved in that deal. So yes, he absolutely was a part of the decision-making process in regards to Deshaun Watson, but I don't know that it's fair to lay that solely at the feet of Paul DePodesta.
All right, Daryl, for me, there's 2 roads that I talked about the directions that this could go. The one road is elevating Andrew Berry, giving him even more power or whatever than he already has, within the front office, and continuing on and, maybe elevating Glenn Cook or whatever. Okay, that's one road. I do not want to go down that road, as I've said earlier in the show. The other road is a total house cleaning, where that wouldn't be a lot of fun either, but it would rid themselves of any fingerprints of Paul DePodesta and Andrew Berry, and then obviously they would get a new coach. What road do you think they'll take? Which one do you think they should take?
Well, the challenging part, one of the good things that Paul DePodesta did bring to the Haslams was patience. That I think is important because they were very impatient early in their ownership tenure, and they've been very patient with this current regime. As now we're 6 years into it. Granted, there are 2 playoff appearances in there, so that makes that patience a little easier to tolerate. You're right. I was thinking about that last night. Where do they go from here? Personally, I would like them to go back to football because go back to like a John Dorsey type. That guy can play. That guy can't play. I mean, Dorsey was a master at that. Him and Alonzo Highsmith were a great team. I'd like to see that because I don't think they've done a good job bringing in talent. Most of the talent that is here, he inherited. Like Andrew Berry inherited a team that was ready to consistently win. And guess what? We are back to where they began before Paul DePodesta arrived. When Paul got here, they were stuck in 4-12, 5-11, sprinkling a little 3-13. He burned the house down, acquired all these assets. Okay, you got 2 playoff appearances and 1 playoff win out of that. But guess what? You've won 5 of your last 25 games. You've got an expensive, overpaid roster right now that isn't winning. Same problems you had before DePodesta got here. So you're back to square one. And I don't know necessarily how attractive the Browns become. Certainly the 2 first-round picks next year, the draft assets they have in 2026 makes them attractive to a prospective GM. But the Deshaun Watson contract certainly does not make them, all that attractive. But that's the road I'd like them to go. But there's part of me that thinks that that they could promote, like you said, Anthony. They could promote Andrew Berry, kind of like what the Cavs did with Kobe Altman, right? You promote him, name him president of football operations. The Browns are very good at giving out fancy titles. Just look at Berry's current title, executive vice president of football operations and general manager. So they're very good at handing out the fancy titles. Give Andrew Berry a new fancy title. Go ahead and bring in another GM. I don't know that you promote Glenn Cook or, Catherine Hickman. I don't know if that's the way to go. I'd like to see a new outside voice come in. A new perspective on where they're at right now, because I don't know that the current perspective is solving the problems that they have. And they have a lot of problems, starting with the number one problem, and that's finding themselves a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, Daryl, the one issue I have is that if you were to keep Andrew Berry here, I think it eliminates the chance of getting a Mike Vrabel type coach, or the year before it was Sean Payton. The other issue, to counter what I just said, is those guys aren't available. Those guys are gone. Yeah. Who would be that powerful guy? You're not going down the Josh McDaniels road again. He's been ineffective as a head coach, but he was a guy that wanted all the power too, and that's why he didn't get the job. So who are those guys that would even be available that you'd want to, give them the reins, give them all the power?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking unproven coordinator dude again, right? You're talking another, Kevin Stefanski, Rob Chudzinski. I mean, because that's what the Browns have hired historically. They rarely hire a coach with previous head coaching experience, and so that is a question organizationally that I believe they have to ask as well. Do we want to go with another first-time head coach, growing pains, learning on the job type of a situation? Are we better off standing pat with Kevin Stefanski and his steady leadership, his unemotional leadership? Stefanski 2 years in a row now has given up the play calling. I don't know what that says about him in play calling, but that is something that has been well received within the building, both inside and outside of the locker room, and everyone seems to be very complimentary that Kevin was able to do that. So I don't see right now, just thinking off the top of my head, experienced head coaches being available. I don't know, do you pull John Gruden out of retirement? But then there's some ancillary things that you have to deal with there, and his ongoing lawsuit against the NFL, the circumstances that led to his dismissal from the Las Vegas Raiders, et cetera, right? But Gruden would come in here and he'd take the world by storm, right? His press conferences would be must-see television for everybody. So I think that if a coaching change ultimately gets made, guys, I think it's going to be another unproven coordinator dude type of guy.
Daryl Ryder, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Daryl, have we even got to ask about the game on Sunday yet?
Does the game even matter on Sunday?
It matters. Daryl, that's an interesting tact.
To the draft, Knicks, it definitely matters.
It's going to be a tantastic good time for somebody.
Would you rather win or lose this game?
I'd rather the Browns win because, listen, we've seen them lose plenty of times. We've seen them lose in the name of draft picks, and what good has that done them?
None.
Exactly. So go win the game. This is a game you should win, just like Miami earlier this year where they took the boots to the Dolphins. Go take the boots to the Jets in the flaming wreckage that's left after their fire sale. Go out there and run them out of their own building, embarrass the hell out of them, and come home with your third win of the season.
All right, Daryl. You have any more for this guy? Executive Vice President of Keeping It the F Real, Daryl Ryder. Thank you very much for your time. All the best.
You bet, guys. Have a great weekend.
Daryl Ryder. Brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Thoughts?
When you heard my questioning about the fact that if Andrew Berry stays, you can't get that Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, whatever the next version of that is.
Who's that version?
But that's
Who's that version?
That's the necessary follow-up.
Give me some names.
Who would be that guy?
Give me some names.
He said John Gruden. And someone's yelling at their...
I know.
Someone's yelling at their radio, Nick Saban.
Nick Saban. Did you see his birthday celebration the other day? The guy was sitting there in a lazy boy in a blanket. That guy is not coaching. Yeah. He's done. So give me a real name.
And the Josh McDaniel stuff, that's over, right? I mean, I do think he'll get another interview somewhere, but I don't even think... Even me, I was the chief advocate for Josh McDaniels. You don't hear me screaming for him again. I
think that you can't. It's going to be as open as it's ever been. I think that we're going to have to start thinking outside the box on certain things. I think you'll have to get comfortable if you're thinking about NFL ranks. I think you're going to have to get comfortable with young offensive coordinators. I think that they could reach into the college ranks. With some of these guys who might be...
You think it's definitely offense,
30s,
though?
Late 40s. Yeah. Anything 30 to 50 college ranks, I think, is in there. I think it's probably going to be an offensive guy.
I can't interest you in Brian Flores?
You would interest me in Brian Flores. I just don't
Browns
think
fans would not.
No, I
think
Browns fans would be interested in Brian Flores. I think Browns fans would be interested in Jim Schwartz. I think Browns fans want a leader. And those guys have been strong leaders. But damn it, I just don't think you're going to get that from those guys or from the Browns or really any head coaching spots anymore. It seems. I mean, you could. It's a youth thing, and so let me bring it up when we come back. 216-474-0092. Get to some of you guys. I want to answer Tone's question because I think it's more difficult to answer than in just right here as we're about to go to break. And Nathan Zagura, 9 a.m. Browns Radio Network on the Fan.
Anthony Lima Floors with.
14th to Carnegie. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
When you want the latest on the Cavs, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
Oh, they got them all coming. They got them all coming, Tone. They're all coming. It's amazing. Here they go. All the names.
Oh, we haven't
You
done
threw it
this.
out there by accident, and here they are. We're already picking coaches.
Are you annoyed with me for doing that? Is that unfair to Kevin?
It happens. You can't help it. When Paul DiPodesta goes, you can't help but think about the future. So it's all there. People are putting together their shopping list. They want them. There's all sort. Phil says Manning and Gruden draft Archie. Survey says, hello, anybody out there, guys? Manning and Gruden draft Archie. Survey says to the radio show.
I mean, Archie just hasn't even been close to good enough for me to think about
Pretty good
him.
last week.
Yeah, but he's, and I'm not saying he's not going to be good by the time, they're going to be looking, but way too early.
I agree with you. Let's go Brian Flores. Yes? No?
Yeah, I'm interested in Brian Flores.
I think he's a hell of a leader. The Gruden thing, let me tell you this. If anybody would hire him in the NFL, first off, I don't know if he wants to be in the NFL. I think a lot of college places would, but he's suing the NFL. But if there's any place in the NFL that would bring in John Gruden while he's actively suing the league, it would be the Browns. I don't think the Browns care about upsetting anybody else.
No, they never have.
They have proven that very, very many times. They do not care about upsetting other teams. So John Gruden, I think, is only a serious candidate here, and that's about it. I would say the Raiders, but no. Robert says Marcus Freeman. There is not I don't think there's a chance in hell. Notre Dame is a much better job. No way.
Yeah, I don't think he'd leave. For that.
So many names. Cliff Kingsbury, I think I'm just getting trolled on that one. A lot of the Kubiak stuff, they just flurried in. What did I say? You asked me you asked me what about the defensive guys? I think it's going to be very, very hard. I think that we are dying for offense right now in the NFL. Again, I like Brian Flores. I liked him in Miami. I thought that he got a raw deal. I think the Tua thing has proven him in so many ways that he kind of got a raw deal on that. I think he's a hell of a leader. I think he's a hell of a football coach. I'd be very excited. If they had to make a move and they brought in Brian Flores, I think I'd be very excited. I think you'd get guys like Myles Garrett excited. I think you'd get the defense excited. I think that he holds people accountable. I'd be very, very happy to have a leader of men like Brian Flores in here. I just don't know if they'd do it. I think that he's 44 years old. He's the right age group. But I think that they're going to want to go. A lot of teams just want to go younger and young offensive. He's young defense, and 44 is not old. I think they want to go young offensive, and you're going to have a guy like if the Vikings end up doing something this year at all, maybe that conversation happens again. Like Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald was part of a good defense. He gets a crack of the Seattle Seahawks there, and that first year last year was rough. Now they went out and they fixed a hell of a lot with that offense, and they're looking good now. But there's so many things where when you're a defensive guy now, it just seems like the world is stacked against you to think you're kind of a lunk and you don't know what you're doing as a head coach. It's a shame because we've seen some really good defensive head coaches who know how to lead guys and know how to lead teams as long as they don't micromanage things. Like the one guy brought up, he wanted Deshaun Watson, and you brought up, so did 14 other teams.
And those are just the teams that needed a quarterback. If other teams didn't need a quarterback, it would have been different.
Yeah, and they picked Tua over him. And by the way, it turns out, they didn't do any better with that. So I don't know if they're going to move on from Kevin. With this move, I don't know if they're going to do it because I think that Jimmy, as guys go to work, I think Jimmy's going to want people he's comfortable with. I think it makes it more likely. Think about this. As of right now, this morning, we've been talking about it for 2.5 hours. I think it makes it more likely that Andrew and Kevin stay with Paul DiPodesta gone.
Which I think is the opposite of when this news broke yesterday. I think a lot of people were like, that's it. That's the writing on the wall. And I'm with you. Like, I thought about it, and I really thought long and hard, and I'm like, man, I think this just might mean Andrew Berry gets more power.
I think that he wants to go with people he's comfortable with. If you look at what's happened in the history with this football team, he's gone from... I overused the phrase the lily pad thing, but he's gone and he's wanted to bump people up. Guys who are already in the organization get bumped up. I think if I were going to predict anything, I got nothing that tells me any of this. If I'm going to predict anything, and this is why I didn't just go crazy at the beginning of the show, you stopped me from doing it. Thank you very much, because I think it's going to be met with a lot of criticism. I think they'll probably go Andrew Berry in a team president role. I think they'll probably bump up Glenn Cook as the GM. He's already had plenty of interviews for general manager roles before. I think they'll bump Glenn Cook up to a full-time general manager. I think they may keep Kevin for another year. Or they may move on from him and think, because, again, this is why I think it's easier if you're making the choice between Kevin and Andrew. I think by the end of this year, the only thing that gets him gone is if that offense is still bad and that defense is still frustrated and you can't shut up Miles on Friday and he's just letting it roll. And then you got if they pull a Bengals Chase Brown scenario where they just throw that offense under the bus. I know it's different because their defense is terrible down in Cincinnati, but go with me on this. If they just pull that type of scenario, then I think there's a possibility. If they don't, if the offense looks better, yeah, I don't think that they'll want to make a change. They don't like making changes. They do. As crazy as it is, a lot of things, well, he's so willy-nilly. He's not. There's been plenty of reasons for him to make a change over the last 6 years with this football team. And they'll look at it and go, we did go to the playoffs twice. Maybe we can navigate our way through this. Does it always have to be so horrifically bad when it's not that great? Well, in so many ways, yeah, it's been that way for us. It's a different standard. 216-474-0092. RC in Cleveland, hello.
Hey, guys, good morning. Happy Friday to you.
Same to you. Go right on ahead.
Hey, I'm going to go back with a little nostalgia, man. I'm going to be the first one to put it out there.
All right.
Consider Bill Belichick and or Ozzie Newsome. I always thought Ozzie Newsome was a great football mind. That's kind of what you're talking about, Ken. Someone that know the game, similar to John Dorsey. So if not Bill Belichick, I definitely would love to see Ozzie Newsome to come in and get the right to shit when it comes to talent and change the culture, because he was always about that.
I think are you talking are you talking somebody like Ozzie, or are you talking Ozzie himself, Ozzie?
Ozzie himself.
I think he's just done. I know he's got some emeritus role now with Baltimore, and I think that he's enjoying himself where he no longer has that obscene amount of pressure that he's had on before. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's been a tremendous front office guy, and I think I guess he enjoys that.
So what about Bill?
Bill who?
Bill Belichick.
Absolutely not. No. I'm sorry, RC. I'm not going to say names at you.
That's funny.
Absolutely not. No.
I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Thank you for the call. Let me explain. Can I explain myself real quick? What he did. I just said about Mac Jones an hour ago, and I know that seems pretty stupid to a lot of people because guys don't like me. What he did to torpedo his own young quarterback is unforgivable to me. No, we're going to have to go with another young quarterback. When you put your defensive buddies in charge of your offense, that's some of the most asinine, I'm the one who rules the roost thing I've ever seen. Absolutely not. He's a legend. He's brilliant. That was as dumb as it gets. He doubled down on stupidity. Well, now that he's at North Carolina, I'm not dealing with that here. No. I already got enough things that battle common sense that I have to deal with. I'm not doing another thing. To have to wrap my mind around defensive coordinators as our offensive coordinator for another young quarterback? Absolutely not. I'll slam my face in a car door. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Was he advocating for Ozzie Newsome as the GM?
Yes.
At 69 years old? It's so funny. Like, we are kind of tolerant.
Bill Polian was over.
Yeah, but most of them are within, the range of 40 to 52. Like, I just looked. You don't see a lot of older GMs at all in this league.
Again, and as people are going to work, and I know we got Nathan coming in, if you're just walking in, I'll say this. The whole thing that sums up DePodesta with me, why it hasn't been good, is I hate to do the baseball versus football thing. Baseball is a game. If you take care of yourself, you take care of what your job is, you should be pretty good. Football, it's all relationships, man. I mean, you got to be a good football player. If you can't get from point A to point B, I can't use you. I get that. But you've had so many guys that you've had fast guys. You've had strong guys. You've had talented athletes. You've communicated like garbage over these 9 years. You've had so much dissension in the ranks. So much of this has just been oil and water in your own locker room, and you've not been able to bring in leaders. That's why I'm so excited about Carson Schwarzenegger. I go, oh my God, he really is going to try to play on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to be able to, but I'm like, He's already got the green dot finally. Finally, we got an ass kicker in here. Finally, we got a guy. Let's see what he can do. Give me Harold Fannin. Let's see if these young guys can start. You need those guys. You think they just sit there and watch old football films in Philadelphia and get all excited about lifting weights and eating just red meat all day and how about going after people like it's the movie The Program? No. They're analytical too. But somehow they find guys who are ass kickers and hold their locker room accountable. You need to be able to meld that, and we have not been able to do that over 9 years. This is an opportunity to find some of those guys, to actually build a team, not just what their athletic prowess should say they're able to do. Nathan Zagura, want to ask him these questions as well as we'll go around the league with him. Coming in hot at 9:45. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. It's coming up on the Fan. Daisy Dip.
You'll hear the latest from Browns practice as it happens. Basket and Phelps, weekdays at 10, 92.3 The Fan.
Oh, it's Segura time. Read it.
But first,
yeah, he should know what he's doing.
It's not Segura time. It's OAR
it's
time.
OAR.
For the love of God, can't you
it's
do it?
Love and Memories time. It's Crazy Game of Poker time.
It's the other ones.
Enter the few other songs time. Enter the code word PEACE. PEACE at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. for your chance to win a pair of tickets to OAR. 3 Decades Tour with Gavin DeGraw and more. That's Friday, September 11th at the Blossom Music Center. Tickets go on sale Friday, November 7th at livenation.com. It's all from Live Nation and Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Outstanding. Coming in hot. 9:45. You ready for that?
Let's go.
Okay. Let's get to Nathan Segura. He joins us right now on the Fan Hotline. Hello.
Good morning, Monfrere. What a treat it was last night to be with you on the Kevin Stefanski show, and great to be with you once again.
Yes, it's wonderful. Now I ask the questions to you, Nathan.
I know. That was fun last night. The tables were turned.
Yes, they were. Paul DiPodesta gone. Thoughts?
I think, he's going back to his first love, obviously baseball, and got an opportunity to talk with him. Very happy for him on that. I think that, Paul DiPodesta is a guy who is somewhat misunderstood in terms of what it was that he did for the Cleveland Browns. And I think, when you got to know him, an incredibly intelligent guy, streamlined a lot of processes for the Cleveland Browns, and certainly wish him well. Obviously you hope that over the 10 years that he was here, the Browns would have a little bit more success than they did. You got the 1 playoff win, 2 playoff appearances, but I really enjoyed getting to him. I thought he was always very candid whenever I got a chance to talk with him, and he's like I said, highly intelligent guy, very thoughtful guy, and I enjoyed getting to know him and wish him certainly all the best with the Colorado Rockies.
I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask Lima that question at 9:20. I just thought of something. Go ahead there, Tone. Take it away.
I know it's tough. We're all speculating on what this means for the organization, the front office, the coaching staff. But meanwhile, they're getting ready for a game this week, and they're going up against a team that got rid of 2 of their very talented players. What is, Nathan, if you could kind of take us in the building, the vibes of the building right now with all that's going on? The trade deadline is now gone, no more distraction, but then obviously the big news yesterday.
Yeah, I think that it was a bigger surprise to people outside the building than it was inside the building. You know what I mean? I don't think that this was like, oh my goodness, this came out of left field to the Cleveland Browns or to Paul DiPodesta. So I don't think it means anything beyond that Paul DiPodesta is going to run the Rockies. I think people are looking at saying, oh, does this mean things are going to change for Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski? And my answer to that is no, certainly not right now. I think at the end of every season, you evaluate everything. But right now, I don't think it has any bearing on it whatsoever. The vibes in the building are we need to win football games. And you've got an opportunity to do so against the Jets this Sunday in New Jersey. And, put together a good plan. I think, the bigger news this week as it relates to the Cleveland Browns, obviously, is the changing of the play calling from Kevin Stefanski to Tommy Rees, which I was surprised by that. But I think that's the thing, getting this offense going. The defense we know certainly is good enough. This is a stretch in the schedule here where if the Browns are going to try to turn this season around, this is the time to do it. And they've got to start Sunday against the Jets team that's won once this year and just traded away its 2 best young defensive players this week.
Go ahead there.
All right, Nathan. So the offensive coordinator thing is interesting because we went through it last year and the whole Ken Dorsey situation, but the offense was different. Now it's back to Stefanski's offense, but he's not going to be calling the plays. Do you foresee the installation of some of the more frequent plays you might see in college, some of those concepts, or do you think it will still be most of what we've been seeing this year? It's just a different viewpoint, somebody to offer something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that you could have perhaps, different sequencing. You're not going to get a new playbook. You're not going to get things that aren't already in this playbook added in now. What you might get is more attention to corners of the playbook that maybe weren't getting as much attention prior to that. So I think that's where you could see a change. What is Kevin's philosophy? What is Tommy's philosophy? We're going to get to see that. I talked to Dylan Gabriel about it yesterday. So I said, in the headset, they have a certain amount of time that they can talk to the quarterbacks before we play. I said, how has that been? Are there different styles? Are they telling you to look for different things? What's that been like for you? And he said, he's done it some. He did some in training camp. He did some in the OTA. So they're used to having him talk to him. But he said, sometimes guys pronounce words differently, things that you just don't even think about. But I think it'll be similar to what we have always done. I think you might see a difference in the sequencing. I think you might see maybe different tendencies, and you might see him, as I said, use different corners of the playbook, that are maybe more things that he is comfortable with or things he thinks can unlock this offense. I think the goal for everybody here is to get this offense, in the passing game in particular, to be more explosive. Because I think that if you talk to anybody in the Browns building, they know certainly the way that this passing game has performed over the first 8 games was not good enough, right? I mean, I think that is plainly obvious to anybody in around the Browns. And so I think that's kind of the goal, and we'll see if Tommy Rees can do that. Kevin Stefanski, when I asked him about it yesterday, I said, you got hired because of your abilities as a play caller. You're a 2-time coach of the year because of your abilities as a play caller. You did this last year. You took it back. What led to this decision? He said, listen, we've got to do whatever it takes to get this offense going. And I'm showing this team I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I hope they know that, and hopefully they follow suit and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get this offense going. And Tommy Rees has done it at the college level. He obviously has some familiarity, as you said, with some of those concepts. So some of the things that were in there, because Tommy is the offensive coordinator, they worked on this. It's a very collaborative process, as we always know with the Browns. But what I do think is maybe you'll see an emphasis on some things from Tommy that maybe were not emphasized as much under Kevin. And I think that's one of the big things to watch this weekend is, can you tell it's different? Can you tell it is different for the Cleveland Browns? And hopefully the answer is yes. And the results is the process difference. That remains to be seen.
Nathan Zagura joining us on the show. How much changes if Harold Fanning can't go?
I think it would. I mean, the guy's your leading receiver, so I would think a lot would change. I do think the return of Cedric Tillman makes it a little bit easier to account for that, where you could do things in 11 personnel that you were doing in 12 personnel previously. And what I mean by that is at 6'3", 210 pounds, Cedric Tillman, not a tight end by any stretch, but is a very good blocking wide receiver. And you're playing a team that basically spends the whole game in its nickel or its dime packages. And so you could use Cedric Tillman, I think, in some of the ways that Harold Fannin was used against that nickel, and I think you can have success with that. So I think this is kind of a good matchup for it if it were the week that it happens. Obviously, you want Harold Fannin back. He has been obviously one of the great bright spots for the Cleveland Browns so far this year.
All right, Nathan, we saw a game last year where Jerry Jeudy had, I think, as many yards in that one game as he's had all year this year. What has happened to Jerry? I know the quarterback play is the quarterback play, but this is almost incomprehensible that a number one for a team could have this little production.
It's wild. And you know what was interesting about last year, and when you look at the total stats for Jerry Jeudy, he was kind of right on his career catch rate. He was right on his career yards per target. He just got more opportunities, and so that allowed him to have those career numbers. This year, he is so, and I mean astronomically far away from his career catch rate. He's not even catching half of his targets. That's unheard of. His yards per target is the lowest of his career. It's basically half of what it had been for his entirety of his career, where he has not had great quarterback play. So I think it's a couple of things. I think, number one, defenses are playing us in a manner in which they are not afraid of a lot that we do offensively. And if there is anybody getting any extra attention, obviously it's Quinshon Judkins, and then it's Jerry Jeudy. I also think that for whatever reason, there have been so many games this year where the ball hasn't gone his way in the first quarter or even in the first half. And that, to me, you got to find a way to get your best players in a rhythm, because it's just human nature. I think after a while, if you're running routes, and you're never getting the ball, because there are plays where he's open if you put the tape on, it has to weigh on you. And so I think it's really important. One of the things the Browns have to do over the second half is get Jerry Jeudy going. They've got to make a concerted effort to get him the ball early. And I know it's doable. I remember a few years ago, I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the Colts were playing, as Peyton Manning was still there, Reggie Wayne was going to break the single-season catch record. And they basically they got him like 9 catches in the first quarter. So you can manufacture touches for guys, and I think it's important that the Browns do that for Jerry Jeudy to get him going. It's not like he's forgotten how to play football. He certainly has not rested on his laurels. I think if anybody was at training camp or any of the joint practices when we played Carolina or Philly,
wasn't he a beast?
Jerry Jeudy was the guy. So it's honestly stunning because it's not just with Dylan. It was with Joe Flacco as well, and Joe Flacco goes to Cincinnati. We've seen what he's been able to do with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So I don't know what it is. It certainly, though, is something that has got to get rectified over this second half of the season.
I don't mean Nathan Zagura joining us on the show. I don't mean to put you in a bad spot. I know we did the show together last time. Well, I know. I don't mean to put you in a bad spot.
You can't set it up with that. Just ask the question because now you already got me nervous.
All right. I don't know how much of the game you got to see last night, but do you think that
I did watch some of it, and that was not a great product.
I was going to ask, do you think that we could be seeing Kenny Pickett playing against us on November 23rd?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why he's not playing now. At this point, if I'm the Raiders, it's like, let's at least see what he can do because unfortunately, Geno Smith is playing bad ball and he's hurt now. I mean, he was hobbling around yesterday. I do think it is very certainly in play.
What'd you think of Bo Nix on the other side of that?
This Denver team, it's funny. We were, going through the scores for this one. They beat the Jets by 2. They have an ability to kind of sleepwalk and just know they're just going to win. And it's not always pretty. That was not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but they keep winning. Now, at some point, I think that's not a sustainable formula, but they've got to find a way, I think, to, kind of get it going early. That was not a good performance. Their defense is excellent. Their offense has shown the ability, like in that fourth quarter against the Giants, to be explosive, but it almost feels like they sleepwalk through these games and they're like, it's the Raiders. We're going to beat them. And they did. And that's all that matters. It's a binary business, but that certainly was not a very pretty nor an inspiring performance by the Denver Broncos, although their uniforms were
Amazing. It was a great thing they were wearing those uniforms because he would have looked way worse. Bo Nix would have looked way worse if he were wearing the old uniforms.
So much worse. Yeah.
Nathan, who is going to win the AFC North this year?
Right now, if and I am not allowed as an NFL employee, but I really think the Ravens are. I mean, I think the Ravens are going to be favored in every single game they play the rest of the way, with the exception potentially of at Green Bay. So I think the Ravens are going to get on a nice run. I really do. I think they've got a very favorable schedule. They're still a very talented team. Cincinnati has lost 2 back-to-back heartbreakers that could have maybe gotten them in the mix. I'm still not a firm believer in the Steelers. I don't think their D is that great, although they did have the turnovers against Indianapolis, and their offense certainly is anything but explosive. So I think the Ravens are probably still the best team in this division, as a lot of people thought they were at the beginning of the season. Lamar's back. We'll see. It's wide open, though, and any team that can get hot can certainly be in the mix. Like, I think 10-7, 9-8 maybe has a chance to win this division. It's certainly not one of those years where you're going to have 3 teams with double-digit wins in the AFC North.
No, you certainly won't, Nathan. The turf at MetLife Stadium, has that been a conversation at all amongst the players?
That I do not know, but I think it always is. You think of the number of major injuries that have happened there. It's always something kind of in the back of, I think, everybody's mind there. And I think all we can hope for is everybody goes through there and comes out unscathed.
Antonio Brown arrested for attempted murder in Dubai. Your thoughts? That's a joke. You don't need to give any. You don't need to give any attention. You don't need to give anything. No, you don't need to do that. I wanted to put you unjustifiably in a position.
Did he tweet as felon of the day?
Yeah. Interesting. He's extradited to the U.S., so that's going to be something we're going to be paying attention to. Nathan, thank you so much for the time and the fun. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you Sunday morning.
You got it, guys. Remember, always keep your eyes on the prize, like my guy Ken Carman.
What a walk-off there. Brought to you by Shab. Or no, he's on the fan hotline. That's Daryl, who I always want to say. Yeah, that's right. Nathan on the fan hotline. Coming in hot, 9:43. Can I ask a diabolical question of you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I want to ask the fans, 216-474-0092. Do you feel better about the direction of the Browns as of this morning, after Paul DePodesta has gone on to the Rockies? But I have a diabolical question for Tone coming up in 5 on the fan. Northeast Ohio fence.
2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's sports desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Oh, you think I forgot? We didn't forget. It's time to go surfsiding with the Cavs. The Cavs Surfside Report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Drink up responsibly. It's beautiful. Cavaliers on the road tonight, taking on Washington.
A vaunted cup matchup.
Oh, hell yeah.
And a must win.
Right? Are we out of the cup if we lose? They're 1-7.
It would be looking pretty bleak. You don't want to go 0-2 in cup action to start out your cup journey to win the prized and famed cup.
We've not been a good cup team.
No. It's about time this team starts to take the cup seriously.
I think they take the cup seriously.
Do
wonder
they?
If they take it too seriously. I wonder if they're. I wonder if they are pressing.
Donovan didn't even play in the first cup game, right?
He played the other night, but he didn't play in a cup game. So is it like the regular season? Or are we just like, well, everything's great in the regular season, but then in crunch time we end up sucking up the room?
I think it's time to find out what this team is truly made of when it comes to the cup.
By the way, Steph Curry's going to be out against Denver Friday, today. It's a cup opener for them.
Wow.
On the other side, in the other bracket. I don't know how that works with the brackets. I don't know which bracket they are in. They might be in ours, for all I know.
People that pay for cup games, they expect cup performances.
Cavs against Washington tonight. Try to stay alive in the cup.
Mitch, can you name?
That's what?
A Washington Wizard.
Name a Washington Wizard, Mitch, go. He doesn't have the money. That's our fault. Mitch.
Yes.
Name a Washington Wizard right now, go.
Bradley Beal.
They're 1-7. All right, that is the Surfside Cavs update. CJ McCollum is on that team, right?
Yeah, coached by Brian Keefe. And that's a cup coach.
That's the Surfside Cavs update brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Drink up responsibly. Made that one up at the end. Sounds good, though, doesn't it? All right, diabolical question for you before I get to the calls here. We got coming in hot 9:43, as well as are the Browns better today than what they were yesterday just because Paul DeBodesta is leaving? Diabolical question. You ready? Are you rooting against the Colorado Rockies now?
Oh, wow.
That's pretty damn diabolical.
Wow.
That is pretty diabolical. I've had no reason to root against the Rockies my entire life. My entire life. In fact, I rooted for the Rockies in 2007. I knew they weren't going to win, but still. I've had no reason to root against the Rockies. Do you root against the Rockies now? Because Paul DeBodesta is going to the
Rockies.
Rockies.
Here are their win totals the last 4 years. 68, 59, 61, 43.
You sure Paul DeBodesta hasn't been in charge of both and we just didn't know? I'm sorry.
How could you lose that many games over a 4-year span? That's insanity.
When you trade for Deshaun Watson, maybe he was going to be put into the lineup before he got hurt.
Somebody asked if he was going to cut a guaranteed check to Wander Franco.
Oh, no! I hit the button.
No,
we're not doing that. Nah. I hit the button. I took it away. Boom, there you go. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. It's Friday. It ain't going to work. 216-474-0092.
Guess what theme music you're going to get during Coming In Hot?
The what? I'm not. No. Damn it. You went one step too far. You went one step. There was one toke over the line. You should have known better.
No, I don't
Surfside Cavs update brought to you by. Wait a minute. No, we're not doing that anymore.
I don't think I'm going to root against the Rockies.
And you root against the Rockies? Oh, come on.
And he's cut his mic.
Oh, come on, Owen. Do you root against the Rockies? He's not going to.
This is what happens when the keeper of the time feels like the time has been violated.
I promise I will be out on time if you answer the question. I promise you. I promise you.
He's dangling a carrot in front of the timekeeper.
On my children, I will ask you the question. Or I will do it if you answer the question.
How did he do it?
I'm glad you don't have a camera. They can't see you do that, Owen. We get to, you know what? Demos has been on hold the longest. Demos, 216-474-0092. Are the Browns better today? Is it a better day for the Browns since Paul DePodesta's gone? Demos and Shaker, you've been on hold the longest. Let me ask you this first. Do you root against the Rockies now Demos go?
And how is Yo-Yo Ma?
Not as much as I root against the Cubs, who I used to like before 2016. But
why?
Maybe a little bit.
You still hold them a grudge?
Oh, yeah.
I respect it.
Sure.
I respect it. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Now to this DePodesta thing, okay? Look, the guy had all this time to do something. What made him different than any other candidate, even now, that you could put in? His analytics background in baseball, the Moneyball mystique, that somehow he bamboozled Jimmy Haslam for almost 10 years into thinking that he had some kind of different sauce that he could bring, okay? So I am not going to sit here and tell you that Andrew Berry can't move up or this or that. But I suspect this is the beginning of a house cleaning, and everybody from here to the end of the season is basically auditioning for whoever could come next. But who the hell is going to take this job knowing how much Jimmy Haslam fiddles with the team and decisions about the team? It's the most unenviable job in the NFL while Haslam is the owner. So, we're screwed. I mean, we're screwed for probably years to come now. And
Now, Demos, you don't know that. Just because it's been 26 years doesn't mean it's going to be any more.
Well, you know what? I hope you're right. But I'm not hopeful given the management of this team. Because think about this, Ken. If you're the worst team in the NFL, you get to pick the best players in the draft, right?
At least the highly rated ones. I don't know if we've ever picked the best ones.
That's a good point. How is it that after 26 years, the Browns have managed, in a league that's dead set on parity, have managed to be among the absolute bottom dwellers in terms of picking up talent and utilizing it?
I asked the same question about the Jets and the Dolphins.
Oh, you could, or the Lions even. The Lions are showing flashes finally, but they've sucked longer than the Browns.
Well, wouldn't they give you hope? It's like even by accident, you might be able to get your head out of the clouds. Not you, them. Might be able to get their head out of the clouds.
I have hope because Podesta's gone, okay?
Okay.
Kenny, I work in analytics myself, okay?
All right.
I'll say this. I've worked on more...
Congratulations on all your success.
Yes, more bigger corporate decisions than DePodesta has in my life doing analytics, okay? And I'm telling you, this guy was a square peg in a round hole by going from baseball to football, and I can't believe we sat through this thing for 10 years. It's crazy.
Listen, I wish I could disagree with you, man. I mean, I've called him Rasputin for a long time because I can't really get an answer out of anything and actually what he does.
You know what? To me, he's more Goering than Rasputin because Goering was in the back.
All right, we're not gonna.
Oh, I wanted to hear more.
I'm not gonna go that far, for the love of God. 216-474-0092. Listen, I think that he did not try to make this team terrible. You don't have to try to make a team terrible. As Anthony said, any idiot can tear a football team down. It ain't that hard. I can trade away Myles Garrett tomorrow and be a much worse football team. Well, I can't technically do it tomorrow. It's against the rules now. But I could have done it on Monday, and I could have made us a much worse football team if I wanted to. It takes talent to build it. And my issue has been, I don't think he set out to set this team up for failure. I think he tried to put his best foot forward. I don't think he was really equipped to do it because I don't think that he's much of a people person. Nathan has a different relationship with him. That's great. I don't think he's much of a people person. I've explained that before. And I don't think he knows the human condition of a football team and what makes a football team really tick. I don't think he has that. I don't think it's within his reason. I don't believe him whatsoever if he has ever said it. I don't. And because of that, I think that's what we've always been missing. Guys, damn it, we've had talent on this football team. You know we have. How many times, even over the last 10 years, let me ask you this before I get going on some crazy tangent
here. For 4 straight years, we asked if this was the most talented Browns team we've had.
Thank you. So how many times have we, over the last decade that he's been here, seen a guy go contribute somewhere else with another team? How many times have we seen it? Because they also know how to mix the ebb and flow of some of the players that are able to help them out. Where, yeah, you're going to need a couple of guys who are dogs. You do need talent. You do need those guys. And it ain't no Boy Scout troop. So you got to have some guys who might have some checkered past or come from some dangerous places. But you also need guys to be in the locker room, to be glue, to be able to hold it down, not just some stooge for a head coach or anything like that. You need guys who are there, who understand what it means to be a part of that team, to get through to professionals where it's a job in so many ways. The brainwashing that goes on in the NFL, Tone, is incredible because we pit these guys for 8 months against each other. 8 months of your life is spent worrying about another guy taking your job, worrying about somebody else taking your spot. The least amount of guaranteed money out of the major 3 sports we talk about, you're always paranoid. And then the season starts, and we got to get these guys from here where they don't trust anybody to there where they're all playing together and it's all working. It is an unbelievable thing, and they've always missed that by 1,000 feet, being able to find the people to make it work inside the locker room. That's what he's missed. It can work in baseball. It ain't working here, and it wouldn't work here. And that's why, I think that they're in a much better position than they were yesterday at this time.
Well, and that's why I wonder, when all's said and done, like, I know what we're going to say about the Paul DePodesta era, but I wonder if the Browns, if Jimmy Haslam, when he thinks about the legacy of Paul DePodesta, is like, he helped get us closer to a dome, which is going to make us more money. Like, stuff like that. I wonder if that truly is what mattered the most. Like, once the guardrails were built, once all of that was fostered, like, that stuff, you have decision makers to do that stuff.
He could have said that about other guys. And you and I both know those guys, and we like those guys. Some of the business people. We like those guys. I mean, honestly. And I don't think any of those other guys that helped you, propel your business, get your business to where, a lot of other teams want to be. I mean, you look at Cincinnati, they're stuck in the dark ages. You see where some of these teams have gone. Why on earth? Okay, he helped you that. Then why is he helping you make football decisions? Clear. Like, that's one of the worst things. And this is a scary business that we're in because you say these things behind a microphone and then you think you're a master of everything. And it's like, no, you're not a master of everything. I can't sit here and tell you about some of the ways the world works. I got to find a guest to do that. I can't do these things. But if I'm working on both sides of this, my God, where's my own checks and balances? That's my problem. That's been with Paul DePodesta. The lack of accountability, the inability to see what goes on in a locker room. He'd have a much better chance had he been not 2,400 miles away. Coming up next, coming in hot. Folks, we beg you to please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot. I beg you to keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Coming in hot. Coming up next on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sports.
When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot. Miss one day and you miss a lot. We are the radio home of the Cleveland Browns.
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
92.3 The Fan.
This is Coach Kevin Stefanski, and it's time for Coming In Hot.
Coming in hot, coming up in moments. Tony, any more to get off your chest? How have we talked about Paul DePodesta for 4 hours, and you get on the YouTube chat, and they're still fighting each other over the quarterback?
Oh, what are they talking about?
I've said like 3 things about the quarterbacks today. One was about Kenny Pickett playing against the Browns on November 23rd. Another referendum on Stefanski.
Would be spectacular. And if that guy has a great game against the Browns defense, oh boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Is it time for coming in hot?
Oh, I believe it is.
Time for coming in hot?
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. You're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. It's time for coming in hot. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Malaklikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Northeast Ohio day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from Cleveland to Put-in Bay. Here we know that Christmas will be orange and brown, and that the Paul DePodesta ship has run aground. Malaklikimaka is Ohio's way to say Merry Christmas to you.
That's very well done.
I could listen to that.
What a great start.
I could listen to that voice.
What a great start. Hello, you're coming in hot.
The Jets are going to kill the Browns this week. Chaney's looking up smiling.
Hey. Come on. Some respect here. Hello, you're coming in hot.
So, guys, they are calling for snow and cold weather this weekend. Meanwhile, I'll be in my house all warm and snuggy with my spiked apple cider, watching football and eating my Ken Carman with the Daisy French onion dip. Yum, 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 yum. And instead of saying, happy birthday, Paulie, instead I'll be finally singing, sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na, hey, 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 goodbye, Paulie. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You're welcome. What'd you think? What'd you think?
Very, very musical today.
All right. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Don't do it, Ken.
Don't do
I know
what?
what you're thinking, and I'm here to talk you out of it. I know you've seen Tom Brady with his dog, the one that died 2 years ago, and you're getting ideas. But sometimes, dead is better. Don't go down to that facility in Texas, Ken. What you bring back from Texas ain't the thing you took in. And I'm not talking about Sam, Ken. I'm not talking about Sam. We all know you got your mom in a box in your basement. I'm here to talk you out of it, Ken. Because sometimes, dead is better.
That's pretty good.
I
haven't seen that in so long.
There is no chance I would take my mom down there for that. There's no chance. Mom stays in the box in the office. That's where mother stays.
He was doing Fred Gwynn. You know his name?
No.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I've heard it before, but my God. Hello, you're coming in hot.
The Browns are in shambles, but have no fear because Ohio's football team is playing and slaying. That's right, the Akron Zips are on fire. The Gales of November came early for UMass, and they wrecked like the Edmonds Fitzgerald.
Hey, have some damn respect.
They did it for Manny's, they did it for Euro, and they'll do it against the Flashes. It's 9:48, and Kent State still stuck.
Wow.
They're getting started. It's wheel week.
I'm loving it.
It's the start of wheel week.
Man, I thought the rivalry was dead. Both teams were terrible, and now watch it. Look at these teams breathing sweet life back into college football in Northeast Ohio. That's not just
Is that
the Buckeyes.
Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday
You
night.
bet your sweet butt cheeks it is.
7:30
Wagon,
p.m.
wheel time. Is that at Dick's?
No, it's at Akron.
Oh, okay,
And it's
never mind.
ESPNU.
You're not on the call?
I was hoping to get on the call. I am not on the call.
Damn. I don't know. You know what? I'm still Akron, but I'm a little torn. Mark Carney, good guy. Good guy.
Did you see Moorhead dancing after their last win?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Like Joe, like his staff. Damn it. You know what? I will say...
Both destroyed UMass, by the way.
If Kent State does a good job and wins, I'll say congratulations on your success. If Akron wins, I will celebrate. 5 and... what are we right now? 4 and 6.
4 and 6, right?
Damn, we already played 10 games?
Yeah.
Where'd the college season football season go? We already played 10 damn games? All right. Axel's got one more year, then I can really get immersed again. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Good morning, boys. It's me, the boogeyman, Paul DePodesta. I'm getting drunk at the Coors Light factory over in Colorado. I'm checking through the free agent list, and guess who's still available?
Uh-oh.
Mr. Scott Atterberg, the Walkman himself.
Oh, no.
Hey, Ken, want to be the manager of my new baseball team?
No.
Yeah? Do you?
No.
Do you, Ken?
Is it just because Philip Seymour Hoffman was in the movie and you're looking for a heavy-set guy? I'm way fatter than PSH.
You want to be the manager?
No, I do not look like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
You got one condition if you're the manager. You better start Hatterberg. You got it? Another beer. Another beer.
Hello, you're coming in hot. Did they drop? No, they did. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Kenny, Anthony, hey, I'm over in Colorado, and I'm so excited about the past 24 hours that I developed the Podesta square dance. So now into the brook, get fish to the top, dive right in and splash it, bout, trout, fiddle to trout, one more splash it, come right out. Shake like a hound dog, shake again, waddle around in the old big pen, waddle some more, you all know how. Roll around like an old fat sow, no offense, Kenny. Whirl, whirl, twist and twirl, jump all around like a blind squirrel. Now don't you cuss and don't you swear, just come around and form a square. Yeah!
A lot of different genres today.
Yeah, they're all over the place. We can take 2 more.
Yeah, 2.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
The last call from Cleveland to Paul DePodesta. Hello, Paul. New phone, who dis?
I thought it was going to go somewhere else with it, and I thought it was going to be better. I'm sorry. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I'm not rooting against the Rockies, but I do hope Paul DePodesta bites the inside of his cheek every time he chews food for the remainder of his life. Good riddance.
That'd be annoying.
That's strong. I did that in the corner right there the other day. My mouth, it hurt. Now I'm going to look like I have a cold sores there. If you catch my drift. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Randy Buffington, Sarah J. A review in C Caucus.
Charlie Chase. Randy Buffington. Inverted too high safety.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with her work. I'm a fan. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Everyone knows D's and P's, but does Dick Cheney?
Again. That's twice.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
It's Thanksgiving time, boys. Ken, ham or Thanksgiving turkey?
Turkey.
Anthony, potatoes or stuffing?
Oh, potatoes.
Mine, I would like Thanksgiving pie.
I good smoked turkey last night at the men's club.
Really?
Yeah.
That early, huh?
Oh, it was terrific.
You ever try turkey in July?
No.
Because it's insane. You wouldn't do that. Hello, you're coming in hot.
J-E-T-S. Jet.
Boy, he just wants to get under your skin, Kenny.
He's got
just knows what to do.
I got me.
Twists and turns.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. What's going on?
Hey, is Lima there? I heard he was a socialist.
Democratic socialist is a difference.
Whoa!
You guys got to learn your politics.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
What was Sam Kinnison's last words?
What? That'll do you. Oh, we both hit it. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
That's like both turning the key on the submarine at the same time.
I'm sorry.
Can't even do that job anymore.
Oh, stop it. I'm sorry. He is making me say I'm sorry like I'm Karen. When Henry, takes the gun away from her.
That's all the dumb button we had, Ken.
Chef here, sitting in the studio, knowing that I like to rap.
All right, big thanks to everybody who joined us.
That my rap is
Daryl Ryder, Nathan Zagura.
That I have the flavor in a
big thanks to them. We're back Monday, 6 to 10, hopefully after a big win with the now Paul DePodesta-less Cleveland Browns. It's a good day. It's a good day, Tone.
You know what? Okay. You know what, Kenny?
Yeah, there you go.
Kenny, you know what?
You gotta take them while you can, Tone.
3 hours 56 in.
You got it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's go Super Bowl! Super Browns! Yeah! He's gone! He's not our problem anymore! Debo scored! Don't let the door hit you!
Go Browns.
We're back.
Go Browns, baby.
Browns are back.
Go Browns.
We got our football team back.
Damn it, I don't know what to say now. Let's go. Let's go, damn it. Beat the damn Jets. Go get this win, Dylan. Send them packing. Super Bowl. Super Browns. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's going to be so mad.
Big vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Hey.
Sounds good. Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Bye, honey. Have a great day.
It's time for some commercials.